Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. Welcome back to Contemporary Mama in another episode of my monthly meal prep series. I have so many tasty and delicious recipes to share with you today that are absolutely perfect for meal prep. They are all nice and healthy, so they are perfect for getting you back on track if you happen to have fallen off the nutrition bandwagon during this quarantine like I did. So let's head right on into my kitchen and get started. So I'm going to be starting off this meal prep by prepping some produce. I just went to the grocery store and stocked up on produce. My kids eat fruit like crazy, and in the quarantine I have not been going to the grocery store very often, so I really want it to last as long as possible and not go bad. So my sister just taught me this trick on how to get your produce to last a really long time, and I have already tested it out and it really works. So all I'm gonna do is put all of my produce that is somewhat firm. You don't want anything kind of mushy like raspberries in there, sort of like firmer produce like strawberries, grapes, and blueberries are what I'm gonna be using. Put it in a giant bowl of cold water and pour in a quarter cup of white vinegar. Let those soak for 30 minutes, rinse them really well, and lay them out on a towel to dry completely. So for lunch this week, I'm gonna be making some Thai peanut meal prep bowls. I am so excited. I haven't tried this recipe before, but it sounds absolutely delicious. So I have some chicken. You can use tenderloins, thighs, breasts, whatever you have. I'm just gonna dice this up into bite-sized pieces. And then I have some water boiling over here. I am gonna cook some spaghetti, just regular old spaghetti. I'm gonna be making 4 of these, so you can sort of adjust how much chicken and how much spaghetti you want to use based on how many servings you want to create. So while my pasta is boiling, I'm gonna cook that till al dente. I'm gonna brown my chicken, and I'm gonna cook this all the way through, of course. So I'm just gonna give it some seasonings. That was some salt. This is some fresh ground pepper, and then also a sprinkle of garlic powder. And then I'm just gonna let these cook. And while I'm doing that, I'll prep the produce. The produce I'm going to be chopping up is half of a red bell pepper, some cucumber, some green onions, and then I have a bag of this broccoli slaw. It's already all sliced up. It has broccoli, cabbage, and carrots. And this is going to be pretty sturdy, so it's not going to wilt as if you were using something like lettuce or some other leafy green. And then I have some shelled edamame. So these are all going to hold up really well for meal prep. They're not going to get soggy because they're nice, sturdy vegetables. Pasta I cooked till it was al dente, and then I drained it and rinsed it with cold water. And now I am going to be drizzling in a tablespoon of sesame oil and tossing that up. So the last thing that I have to do to get these peanut bowls put together is make the Thai peanut sauce that we're going to use to dip the chicken. I will have the ingredients listed on the screen, but I also always link the recipes in the description box. Okay, so now that everything is all prepped, I just have to divide up my ingredients, and this might actually make more than 4 bowls, which is awesome. More to enjoy, so I'm just gonna add a scoop of the sesame noodles, and then top that with some chicken. So you have plenty of protein, carbohydrates, and then I'm going to add my vegetable mixture. And then I can top this with a little fresh cilantro and some chopped peanuts. And then I divided my sauce up into these little containers, and you can use this to either pour on top or dip your chicken in, however you prefer. How fresh and delicious does that look? I cannot wait to try this. And the great part is that you serve it cold, so you don't even need a microwave to heat it up in. It's great for on the go. Okay, so really quick, I just wanted to show you guys how amazing this Thai bowl looks when it is drizzled with that sauce. Cannot wait to dig in. Dishes are all packed up and they are in the fridge. So by now it's been 30 minutes. So I rinsed all my produce really well so it doesn't taste like vinegar at all. And now I just laid them out on these dish towels to completely dry. Next on the agenda, I'm making the Skinny Taste Spinach and Ricotta Quiche. I love making quiche because you can eat it for breakfast, but you can also eat it for lunch too. Warm, room temperature, it doesn't really matter. Quiche is super versatile and it comes together really fast when you use store-bought pie dough. I think that this tastes just as good as homemade crust, and it comes together, again, super duper fast. So if you are low carb or want to eat a little bit healthier, you can always just leave this out and make the quiche crustless. That's another option, but a little bit of crust is worth it in my opinion. I think it tastes so good. So let me show you how I make it. So I got my pie dough in my quiche pan. You could just use a pie pan if you don't have a quiche one. So I'm just going to be tapping it with a fork and then popping this in the oven for about 10 minutes just so it's par baked and it'll get nice and crispy and flaky. Then this bowl I'm going to add 7 eggs, 2/3 cup of milk, a handful of shredded Parmesan cheese, and some salt, and I'm going to mix that up really well. So while my crust finishes baking, I shredded up chopped up some basil, and then I'm gonna add in about like a half a cup, maybe more like 3/4 of a cup of ricotta cheese, and then a small handful, maybe like 1/3 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. So I'm just gonna mix that up. You can add in a little more Parmesan if you want. And then I also, as you saw, chopped up a big handful of spinach. I probably did a little too much, but I love spinach. And then I halved some cherry tomatoes. So now everything is all prepared to put the quiche together. It's gonna come together really fast now, which is great because I need to get that in the oven. Okay. So my crust is par baked, and this is how I like to assemble it because I like to have all the toppings kind of evenly spaced. So what I do is I sprinkle the spinach all over so that it's nice and evenly dispersed. And then I have my egg mixture that I'm gonna pour in and just kind of like spread around. Okay, so that's nice and even. And then I'm just gonna drop dollops of the ricotta mixture all around. And then I'm gonna pop the cherry tomatoes in between the ricotta. So everything is gonna be nice and even. Everyone is gonna get even amounts of spinach and cheese and tomatoes, and it won't be like concentrated on one side of the quiche. Okay, so it is ready to go in the oven. This bakes at 350 for about 50 minutes. Just give it a little shake and make sure that the eggs aren't jiggly and you know that it's done. This is an amazing recipe in the summer when tomatoes and basil are just extra sweet, but with Mother's Day being on Sunday, it would also be a delicious brunch recipe for Mother's Day. So I really hope you give this a try. I'll show you how it looks when it's done cooking. All right, so I'm doing really good with time. My meal prep is moving right along. Next, I'm gonna be making some chocolate zucchini muffins for breakfast or as a delicious afternoon snack. So I got this recipe from a friend, so I'll just type it out in the description box if you don't feel like writing down all of the ingredients. Now, I just want to mention that she did let me know that these muffins are not sweet, like at all. So I am going to be adding a little bit of sweetener to them. I have this sweetener that I got on Amazon. It's called Pure Cane, but if you want something a little more natural, you could use honey or maple syrup or stevia, but I'm gonna add like 1/3 cup of this. I'll let you know how they turned out because I just don't think a chocolate muffin that's not sweet would taste very good. So she said to make these in a blender, but since I already had my food processor out for making the peanut sauce, I'm just gonna go ahead and use that. Now this obviously wouldn't be zucchini muffins without some zucchini. So I'm just gonna shred this zucchini and then I'm going to add the shredded zucchini to a bowl with this egg mixture. And I'm gonna add in a handful of mini chocolate chips and divide these into my muffin tins. So my friend told me that these bake at 375 for 15 to 18 minutes, but my oven's already at 350 because the quiche is still in the oven. So I'll check them around 20 minutes. I'll let you know how long they took at 350. So the last thing on my to-do list is I'm gonna be making some energy balls. I love making these because they're great for a little afternoon pick-me-up or if you need something sweet after dinner to hold you over, but they are packed with lots of healthy ingredients. Usually I make a peanut butter chocolate chip version, but since the muffins were kind of chocolatey, I thought I would go a different route and make these lemon coconut ones, which are 2 of my absolute favorite flavors, so I think they're gonna be delicious. I have my handy food processor cleaned and ready for another round. Now to this, I'm gonna add a cup of cashews and then 2 cups of coconut. Now you can use the unsweetened. I'm gonna be using the sweetened version just because this doesn't have any other sugar in it. So if I'm using it as a treat, I'm gonna use the sweetened coconut. And I love coconut. Now I'm also gonna add 10 of these pitted dates. These are also great for adding natural sweetness. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now I forgot to buy a lemon, but if you have a lemon, you can add in the zest of it as well as 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, but I totally forgot to buy one, so I'm just gonna use this bottled lemon juice. So that's about 2 tablespoons. And then they said it's totally optional if you wanna add 1 or 2 drops of lemon essential oil. I have it, so what the heck, I'll go ahead and add it. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm gonna blend this up. Once it's all blended up, the dough should be pretty sticky, and you can roll these into balls as big or small as you want and store them in an airtight container for up to a week. So here are my energy balls all rolled up. If I'm feeling a little sluggish in the afternoon, I have a small cup of coffee and 1 or 2 of these, and I'm like a new woman, seriously. So I'm all done. I just wanted to show you how everything looks, and this is probably one of my favorite meal preps I've ever done. So all the way in the back are my chocolate chip zucchini muffins. Can't wait to try one of those. They probably took about 23 minutes at 350. The zucchini does add a lot of moisture, so I'm sure it needs extra time. But again, the recipe did say 375 for like 15 to 18 minutes. Anyways, here are my lemon coconut energy balls. Can't wait to dig into those after lunch. Speaking of lunch, here are my 4 perfectly portioned Thai bowls. I can't wait to try these, especially with that yummy peanut sauce. That's going to be amazing. My ricotta quiche looks delicious. I'll be having that for breakfast tomorrow. I cannot wait. And my fruit over here is all washed and ready to go. My kids eat a lot of it, and I'm really trying not to go to the grocery store very often. So I am so grateful my sister Jen shared that vinegar trick with me, because seriously, those strawberries are gonna last me 10 days. Like, no joke, they'll stay really fresh. What I do is I just kind of rotate them in the bowl like every other day, just so they don't get bruised from like pushing up against each other. So just kind of give them a little toss so that they don't get bruised, and they'll last you a really long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this meal prep and that you got some great ideas on how to do a meal prep of your own. If you try any of these recipes, don't forget to tag me over on Instagram. I love seeing you guys try my stuff, and I'll see you on Tuesday with another brand new video. Have a great weekend. Bye.